ECER garnered 13.4 billion of investment. Well, the Cabinet has decided that electricity tariffs will not be increased for the 9 million domestic users in the country. In line with this, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob in a tweet today said the government has decided to continue with subsidies of more than 700 million ringgit to ensure that domestic consumers will not be affected. Meanwhile, the Energy Commission in a statement said the government is keeping the current base electricity tariff for all electricity users in Peninsular Malaysia throughout the regulatory period 3, RP3, from 1st of February 2022 to 31st December 2024. However, the government will impose an electricity tariff surcharge of 3.7 cents per kilowatt hour for non-domestic users for the February to June 2022 period, while maintaining a 2-cent rebate for domestic users. The surcharge imposed under the imbalance cost pass-through ICPT mechanism was on the back of an increase in fuel costs of 1.67 billion ringgit from July to December 2021 as coal prices touched $200 or 838 ringgit per ton in the period. The Commission added that the sharp rise in coal prices in the market resulted in power generation costs rising by 45% and caused a big impact on electricity tariff in the peninsula as coal makes up 59% of power generation fuel source. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob today visited the Kuantan 188 Tower, which is one of the latest and iconic tourism products developed by the East Coast Economic Region Development Council, ECERDC, on the banks of the Kuantan River. The Prime Minister, who took a buggy car ride from the Kuantan City Complex, where he chaired a meeting earlier, arrived at the tower at 12:10 p.m. Arriving at the compound of the tower, the Prime Minister also inspected and was briefed on the recreational vehicle, RV or caravan, which is also one of the latest tourism projects proposed by ECERDC for development in the district in Pahang. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri then proceeded to the Kuantan 188 Tower Sky Deck, which offers an unobstructed 360-degree view of the city. The Kuantan 188 Tower is the second tallest tower in Malaysia after KL Tower. Meanwhile, ECERDC Chief Executive Officer Datuk Baitzawi Chemat in a statement said RV tourism was fast becoming a popular trend as it provides a more open tourism concept for various outdoor and personal activities. People had visited the tower's sky deck, which was inspired by the flowers and leaves of the white teruntum plant that was said to have been abundant in the past on the banks of the Kuantan River. In a related development, ECERDC said it garnered 13.4 billion ringgit worth of committed investments for the East Coast Economic Region ECER last year, exceeding its initial target of 12 billion ringgit. ECERDC in a statement said the figure hit a new record as the highest yearly achievement under the ECER Master Plan 2.0, EMP 2.0, since 2018. This would mean it has the potential to create more than 11,000 jobs and 680 entrepreneurial opportunities for the people, thus fulfilling the aspirations of Keluarga Malaysia. When chairing the ECERDC Council meeting at the Kuantan City Council complex today, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the results demonstrated that government support in strategic infrastructure projects and extension of tax incentives are effective in increasing the region's competitiveness as an investment destination of choice. Also present were Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Economic Affairs Datuk Seri Mustafa Muhammad, and Chief Secretary to the Government Tan Sri ECER realized investment worth 4.7 billion ringgit in 2021. The proposal to re-establish a law ministry will be tabled to the Prime Minister to obtain a principal agreement before being brought into Cabinet. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar said the draft for the proposal has been completed. However, there needs to be a detailed review on its advantages and disadvantages. The process to implement the proposal will also take time as it involves a lot of amendments and adjustments across various aspects, specifically in human resources and finance. If the Law Ministry is re-established, the Department of Law Affairs will be the core organization to ensure issues such as national law amendments can be done more efficiently.
How to enhance for now, for the time being, in order to function, supaya kita boleh buat fungsi lebih baik lagi dan lebih efisien lagi dan boleh menunaikan aspirasi kerajaan yang ada sekarang ini. Dan dalam masa yang sama kita akan mentransform kita sendiri dengan semua pihak bersetuju supaya dikembalikan kedudukan itu macam dahulu.
In a separate development, Malaysia's position in the Corruption Perception Index, or CPI, can be improved if legal action is successfully imposed towards individuals indulged in such malpractice. Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi explained that the CPI is based on large numbers of corruption case exposures.
Kalau orang tu sebuah negara melakukan rasuah tetapi tak ada orang bangkit perkara tu, dia tak akan diketahui, persepsi dia akan baik.
He said this after delivering his speech for the monthly Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law meeting in Putrajaya. And up next, Malaysia remains the most attractive country for foreign investors. Details on that right after this. But first, the young Di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Rayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah was discharged from the National Heart Institute IJN at 11 a.m. today. The matter was confirmed by the Comptroller of the Royal Household for Istana Negara, Dato' Ahmad Fadil Shamsuddin, when contacted by the media. His Majesty had been undergoing a health checkup and follow-up treatment at the IJN since last Saturday. Dato' Ahmad Fadil, in a statement on Sunday, said the health checkup and follow-up treatment was related to an intervention treatment on knee and ankle joints, which Al-Sultan Abdullah underwent at IJN on 24th of September 2020. According to Dato' Ahmad Fadil, the intervention was done after a magnetic resonance imaging MRI scan showed injuries to Al-Sultan Abdullah's knee and ankle joints while partaking in sports. Meanwhile, Istana Negara, through its official Facebook page, said Al-Sultan Abdullah was accompanied by the Raja Permaisuri Agong, Tunku Haja Aziza Aminah Maimuna Iskandaria, when His Majesty left the Institute this morning. Malaysia has become the most attractive country in Southeast Asia for foreign investors, driven by the success of attracting more than 220 billion ringgit of approved investments in 2021 for the manufacturing and services sectors. According to the 2022 Milken Institute Global Opportunity Index GIO, this is a further testament to the government's resolve, commitment and proactiveness in developing sound policies and efficiently and constantly driving domestic reforms. In a statement, Senior International Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali said the commitment has ultimately elevated Malaysia's position as a preferred investment destination, thus signifying the strong confidence of foreign investors in our agile business ecosystem and vibrant economy. The index reported that Malaysia secured its top spot due to its strong performance across all categories, namely having a strong economic performance, offering highly qualified workforce, and being firmly integrated with the global economy. Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin said this clearly underscores the success of MITI's massive efforts in implementing policies that ensure the readiness of talent and the protection and creation of jobs for the economy. He added that the report draws attention to Malaysia having taken steps to relax restrictions and enact policies in capitalizing on its trade developments, thus helping Malaysia claim first place. The implementation of new revenue policy must take into account aspects pertaining to the national economic recovery. Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said any new policy could only be introduced after the country's economy has recovered and the people are ready.
Pada masa ini, kita perlu tangani dulu isu-isu inflasi yang disebabkan oleh gangguan rantai bekalan global, kos tenaga seperti bahan api yang naik mendadak, serta peningkatan permintaan pengguna di seluruh dunia berikutan pembukaan semula ekonomi.
Commenting on the issue through the 83rd Laksana report, he informed that the government has conducted various initiatives to address inflation issues and the rising costs of living. This includes a subsidy for allocation amounting to 31 billion ringgit under Budget 2022. As of 14 January, 31 billion ringgit had been channeled to individuals and businesses through 43 government initiatives. The floods that hit the country at the end of last year and early this year have resulted in losses amounting to 6.1 billion ringgit. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, the value is equivalent to 0.4% of the nominal gross domestic product. Based on the 2021 special report on impact of floods in Malaysia, which was released today, public assets and infrastructure suffered the highest loss, with 2 billion ringgit. This was followed by housing and vehicles, with each of them reporting losses of 1.6 billion ringgit and 1 billion ringgit respectively. Meanwhile, the manufacturing sector suffered a loss of 0.9 billion ringgit, followed by business premises at 0.5 billion ringgit and agriculture 90.6 million ringgit. Selangor State recorded the highest losses for categories involving residential, manufacturing sector, vehicles and business premises. The district that recorded the highest loss in Selangor for the residential category was Petaling, followed by Hulu Langat and Klang. More than 350,000 self-employed workers have registered with the Social Security Organisation SOCSO to contribute to the Self-Employment Social Security Scheme, or SKSPS. SOCSO Chief Executive Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Azman Aziz Muhammad said that from the 354,392 individuals registered so far, the majority are from the e-hailing sector, including passenger transportation and food delivery services. When met by reporters at Menara Pekeso today, he however said the number of farmers registered under the SKSPS are relatively low. As such, SOCSO is open to tapping the industry and is initiating a strategic cooperation with the Muda Agricultural Development Authority, MADA. Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Azman also hoped that through the cooperation with MADA, SOCSO can get all the 57,000 farmers to be registered for the scheme.
Jadi kita pun tidak pasti bila akan berlaku kemalangan, kematian dan sebagainya. Jadi walau bagaimanapun, usaha libat urus, usaha memberi penerangan, usaha untuk kita engage dengan semua mereka yang terlibat di bawah MADA ini, petani-petani ini akan diusahakan dengan begitu agresif.
SOCSO and MADA signed a memorandum of understanding to establish a strategic cooperation to ensure that social security protection is expanded to farmers in Kedah. Meanwhile, MADA General Manager Kamarudin Dahuli said so far, 282 farmers under MADA have registered for SKSPS. Women's Special Project Hockey squad took 5th spot in the Asian Cup for the 5th time in a row after beating Thailand 3-0 in the 5th-6 playoff in Muscat, Oman last night. Malaysia opened scoring as early as the 5th minute through a field goal by Norafika Shahzani Azhar. The Malaysian Tigress consolidated their position through a penalty corner from team captain Juliani Muhammadin in the 22nd minute. Raja Nur Sharina Raja Shabuddin completed the rout with another penalty corner in the 46th minute to record the 3-0 victory. Malaysian Hockey Confederation, MHC, Special Project Squad Technical Director Paul Revington, however, said he was satisfied to see the national performance steadily improving.
Taking into consideration the young age profile of this team being on average 22 years across all 20 players, the fact that 12 players entered this tournament having not played a single minute of any international hockey, whether it be under 18, under 21 or senior level, and then to watch them grow from game 1 until game 5 really is a credit to all the athletes.
He added that the team gained valuable experience after going against 2 Olympic teams, namely India and Japan. The national squad recorded 3 victories out of 5 matches played throughout the tournament. At 10, the headlines: electricity tariff rates for domestic users will not increase. Tune in to updates at noon tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon on TV2 and saluran Berita RTM. Till then, it's lights out. I'm Manila Paul. Have a wonderful weekend and good night.